Veteran Salute is sponsored by the Devon James Injury Lawyers.
Our next veteran answered the call after one of America's darkest days. KSN's Hannah Adamson and photojournalist Nick Kiefer share the story of a KC-135 crew chief who deployed 4 times to the Middle East. It's this week's Veteran Salute.
In the summer of 2001, John Ruck started attending a community college in Knoxville, Tennessee. He says at the time he questioned if college was really for him and was still trying to find direction in his life. Then, on the morning of 9/11, everything would change. Ruck watching from his apartment TV the horrors of that fateful day unfold.
Everybody can remember where they were at on 9/11. I had woken up that day and the news was on in my little apartment on my 13-inch TV, and I kind of saw what was happening, and it just really truly affected me. And I was down at the recruiter's office within 2 weeks signing up for the Air Force.
From 2002 to 2006, John Ruck would deploy 4 times from McConnell Air Force Base to Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates.
We were supporting the Operation Enduring Freedom. I was a crew chief on the KC-135s.
Working in aero repair, Ruck specialized in KC-135 landing gear and flight controls.
There was about 35 of them stationed at McConnell Air Force Base. Overseas, we had about 12 of them at that base. So everything was kind of rotated out.
The planes Ruck serviced all built in the 50s and 60s.
So everything was cables and linkage and rigging flight controls, rebuilding landing gear.
Ruck says keeping the aging planes airworthy proved no walk in the park.
They built the parking spots. They were so small where the planes to park that they'd be so heavy with fuel that they would pop a landing gear strut, and then hydraulic fluid would start coming out.
Ruck working in dangerously hot conditions, with the average temperature reaching 135 degrees Fahrenheit.
You had to wear gloves to touch any part of the airplane or it was going to burn you. If you had to leave your tent or really do anything, you had to have sunglasses on or it'd burn your eyes.
The KC-135s Ruck maintained would fly 24/7 around the perimeter of the war.
You have a lot of lives at hand. You have to protect the pilot. You have to make sure that there's other pilots that are relying on you to get fuel. You have a mission that you have to go after as well.
The added pressure of keeping the aging planes in the air around the clock ever present.
There'd be an aircraft down and there'd be shift after shift after shift that just couldn't figure out the problem, and you were on part of those shifts too, and then you kind of wake up at night with a light bulb in your head and then you say, I know what it is, and you go in and you figure it out. And for everybody to say, wow, we've been on this thing for 4 days, so glad that you could figure it out. Oh, it was a very fulfilling job.
In 2005, Army General John Abizad, at the time in charge of Central Command, would personally congratulate Ruck on a job well done.
He flew into United Arab Emirates, and at that time there was all of us standing out there. I'd probably say 250 troops. He made a announcement and he asked for 8 people to step forward, and he called my name and I was really nervous, and then he shook my hand with this coin and I saluted him and he said, thank you very much for your service.
Ruck would spend 4 years in the Air Force, honorably discharged, retiring a senior airman.
That was a time in my life where I finally, became a man, I guess you could say. It was just a great time.
Ruck would go on to earn a degree in logistics and now works for a truck sales and service company. He says the best part of being in the military was meeting his wife. The couple has been together for 20 years and have 2 daughters together, Evelyn and Lillian. Here for you, Hannah Adamson, KSN News 3.
The Devon James Injury Lawyers here with our Veteran of the Week, and that's Senior Airman John Ruck, who served our country in the United States Air Force. On behalf of Kansas, John, thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. It was an honor to serve.
Veteran Salute is sponsored by the Devon James Injury Lawyers.